The world's greatest sports competition isn't all gold and laurels. Welcome to WatchMojo's Top 5 Facts. In this installment, we're counting down the top reasons why the Olympics are a bad idea, especially for the host cities. To get a more complete picture of the Olympic debate, we'll also be publishing another episode of Top 5 Facts, where we count down the top 5 reasons why the Olympics rock.
You gotta make up your minds.
Number 5. Cities spend millions to not get the Olympics.
Almaty 2022, keeping it real.
The competition starts a full 10 years before the games even begin, during the bidding process to determine who will host the games. Cities first compete on a national level and then internationally against other cities from around the world. And it costs a lot. Naturally, most cities are unsuccessful in their bids. Chicago spent an estimated $100 million to host the 2016 Summer Olympics, but still lost out to Rio de Janeiro.
Wait a minute. Chicago is out?
Back in the 90s, in an effort to host the 2004 Winter Olympics, the American Committee provided IOC members with over $1 million in gifts, ski trips, and cold hard cash. In 2014, in the midst of their bid for the 2022 Games in Oslo, the Norwegian government voted against pursuing the Games further, largely because popular support for the bid was around 24%. Number 4. The host city becomes a police state.
Terrorists, as you know, have threatened to attack the Games, and now American officials say they found flaws in Russia's security plans.
Naturally, the presence of thousands of world-class athletes from around the world and their fans and supporters creates the need for increased security to ensure the athletes and fans are safe and secure. But for the Games, security ramps up to protect not just people, but investments. The 2012 Summer Olympics in London, for example, banned local businesses from using words like gold, games, and even London in their advertising, under threat of a $30,000 fine.
Sadly, the corporate monster is such that it's given a sort of negativity to the Games itself, which is just a sporting event.
Only official corporate sponsors could use those words, or rent billboard space for that matter. And they wouldn't like lists like this one.
The first thing I did when I heard that London got the Olympics was to send an email to one of my good friends in Paris saying congratulations.
London police were granted permission to enter homes that displayed anti-Olympic propaganda and destroy it. Number 3. No room for poor people.
There are less than 2 months left to the Olympics. When the Games finish, I can have my life back again.
Cities sell their citizens on the Olympics by promoting all the positives it will bring, such as job opportunities and new world-class venues. But many argue that those benefits only advantage the privileged and actually hurt the poor. Seeing as most cities are limited in space, new Olympic venues are typically built where poor people live. The 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing saw 1.5 million Chinese people displaced from their homes. Those without homes didn't fare much better.
Several hundred protesters took to the streets for the Poverty Olympics to call attention to the plight of the homeless in Vancouver.
Vancouver took a lot of heat for its attempt to hide their homeless problem. Just 2 months before the Games, the provincial government passed the Assistance to Shelter Act, which allowed police to clear the streets of homeless people, for their own safety, of course. While the government maintained that it had little to do with the Olympics, the timing was curious to say the least.
The circumstances are suspicious.
Number 2. It causes cities to overbuild. At least the arrival of the Games allows for the construction of new world-class venues, right? It's true that hosting the Games often spurs governments to overcome political bickering and approve long overdue infrastructure upgrades. Unfortunately, construction budgets tend to get bloated. A 2012 study found that since 1960, Olympic Games have gone on average 179% over budget. Once the Olympics pack up and leave, however, it's nearly impossible to keep the massive new sporting venues busy, and they often sit empty while still costing millions to maintain. The empty, decaying stadiums and venues in Athens are the perfect example of overbuilding. One proposed solution to this problem is to simply host the Games in the same 2 cities every 4 years.
What an idea. A crazy, mad, wonderful idea.
Number 1. The Olympics are a good party, but a bad hangover. And it can be real bad. In fact, the 2004 Summer Olympics in Athens created so much debt that they are partially responsible for the financial collapse in Greece. And don't expect the IOC to help out. Not only do they not pay athletes, they don't share their revenue with host countries, nor do they pay taxes. My hometown didn't finish construction of its new stadium until 11 years after it hosted the Olympics, and didn't finish paying for it for 30 years. As for the idea that the Olympics increase tourism, it seems there's little evidence to support this. Skeptics argue that since most host cities are already popular tourist destinations, they essentially pay billions to lure tourists who are already coming. The massive logistical undertaking actually hurts other local industries like film and television. And then there's always a chance that negative PR from scandals or other problems could actually cause people to avoid visiting the city. All these issues can take months or years for a city to recover from. So, what do you think? Should we celebrate the Olympics or avoid them? Be sure to check out our Top 5 Facts video about why the Olympics might actually be a great idea to get both sides of the story. For more gold medal winning top 10s and overbuilt top 5s, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
All right, duly noted.